This week on Beacon Web News, we shed light on the recent SGA disqualifications and the imminent investigation to be conducted by Academic Affairs. Sam Kniskern was at MASS MoCA for Dance Company's annual spring show, and Maggie Allen covers WJJW's second annual Downtown Sound concert. BWN begins right now. Welcome to the April 13th episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Dan Wohler. Anger and frustration arose among students interested in the debate when it was announced last Thursday afternoon that 2 of the 3 SGA presidential candidate tickets were not eligible to run because of a failure to meet minimum requirements for the positions, spurring calls for an investigation by Academic Affairs into how strictly requirements have been followed in past SGA elections. Now, the Beacon learned that some candidates who appeared on last year's ballot were technically not qualified to run, according to Kathy Holbrook, Vice President of Student Affairs. However, since none of those candidates won, the oversight was never made public. The 2 tickets that were disqualified were LaJuan Allen's and Caitlin Wright's. BWN's planned live stream debate was canceled since only Samantha Giffin's ticket remained. The news of this year's disqualification was announced around 3 p.m. on April 6th, a few hours before the planned live SGA presidential debate sponsored by the Beacon and BWN. Allen's and Wright's campaigns were notified by SGA Office Manager Amanda Schuler that they did not meet at least one of the following 4 requirements. Those are running as one ticket on the ballot consisting of a president, EVP, and CVP, nomination forms completed, and to not be officers of any SGA-recognized club or organization for the coming academic year, and that all candidates must have a minimum of a 2.75 cumulative GPA. Caitlin Wright said that her ticket, quote, knew the requirements and checked the bylaws. Obviously, she was very disappointed as she put a lot of time and money, her own money, into the campaign, she said. LaJuan Allen did not respond to multiple requests for statements for this story. Jessica LaVallette, SGA parliamentarian and chair of the Elections Committee, announced the requirements for each SGA position at an SGA meeting where members of all tickets were present, thus being informed of their requirements ahead of time. Now, the bylaws also clearly state the various qualifications. According to SGA's bylaws, these requirements are not checked until after nomination papers are due, which is 7 days prior to the first election. Nomination papers were due on April 4th, and according to LaVallette, they began to check all nomination papers for every single SGA position in the late afternoon on April 4th. Also, according to the bylaws, the Elections Committee must notify all candidates no later than 4 days prior to the primary elections if their nomination papers are invalid. The SGA office manager is the first person to check if candidates meet the requirements for their respective positions. However, according to Holbrook, no one's GPA was checked last year. Holbrook stated that when the previous SGA office manager, Diane Collins, retired, she did not leave written rules and policies, and that much of what she did was from memory and experience. Holbrook explained how the sizable turnover of new staff on the 3rd floor of the campus center last year, which included herself and Amanda Schuler, led to the oversight on the part of Student Affairs. Due to the unintentional human error, according to Holbrook, more than one candidate did not meet their requirement but were still placed on the ballot last year. Now, this issue did not become public last year because, quote, the students who didn't meet the requirements did not win. Now, Holbrook explained how new staff members within Student Affairs were not familiar with the fact that requirements, such as GPA, needed to be checked. This year, they were more diligent about checking all requirements after the nomination deadline. And last week's disqualifications of both LaJuan Allen and Caitlin Wright's presidential tickets have highlighted possible previous inconsistencies regarding how thoroughly SGA requirements have been checked in the past. SGA President Tim Williams and Student Affairs have called for an investigation into how qualifications and requirements for SGA positions have been conducted over the past 10 years. This investigation will be managed by Academic Affairs and is planned to start as soon as possible. MCLA's dance company recently took to the stage at MASS MoCA for their annual spring show, and Sam Kniskern has the story.
Thanks, Dan. I'm outside MASS MoCA where Dance Co is about to showcase their spring performance, a final show for many of the seniors. The spring showcase included performances from Disfunk, as well as an opening number sung by the Allegrettos. Senior Abby Baker, co-president of Dance Co., shared her fondness for her position in the club.
I absolutely love being co-president because it's like I love the club so much, so being able to say that I'm the co-president of Dance Company and actually see everything that goes into it's amazing.
Junior Stephanie Nieves explained how her duet with Emmy Rezabala was a chance for the two to get outside their comfort zone.
Yes, I love my piece with Emmy because people expect us to be these sassy girls who always do these woman powerful songs like a Beyonce or Christina Aguilera. Doing Bad and Bougie by Migos, it kind of had us come out of our comfort zone and people saw a different side of us, and that's what we wanted.
Kat Lima, a senior, expressed her feelings towards her final performance as a part of Dance Co.
I'm sad that it's over because I know it's it was my last performance ever, and it just to look back and think about all the other shows I did on that stage. It was just a nice culmination of having a one last hurrah.
Baker talked about a very special tribute piece for Melissa McHenry, an MCLA student who tragically passed away last year.
Tribute piece was dedicated to a student who was a freshman last year. Her name was Melissa McHenry, and she was an amazing person. And I knew her personally because I'm friends with the group of the 4 girls that did it. Emily Law, Michelle, Colleen, and Abby Hart. They were all the people that were choreographing. It was amazing.
Lima spoke upon the inclusiveness of Dance Co., encouraging others to join.
I had such a good time doing it, and I think anyone who is in Dance Co. or wants to join Dance Co. should, because members of Dance Co. are very inclusive.
Baker reminisced about her start in Dance Co. as a freshman and how joining the club was one of the best decisions she's ever made.
This has been the best decision I could have ever made to be in Dance Company. I remember I started as a freshman, just in 3 dances, just a normal company member, and I just kept getting more active, and now that I ended up being the co-president, it's just such an amazing opportunity, and I'm sad to see it go, but I'm so excited to come back and see the new e-board because I know a lot of them have been with me since they were freshmen.
The show was a huge hit, and tons of people came out to see it. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Sam. WJJW hosted their 2nd annual Downtown Sound concert featuring a slew of local artists, and Maggie Allen has the details.
Thanks, Dan. I'm standing outside the Sullivan Lounge for the WJJW 2nd Annual Downtown Sound Concert. President of our school's radio station WJJW, Emma Monahan, touches on the goals of Downtown Sound and the history of the event.
It's basically a concert for the campus community and the North Adams community. And last year it was at Gallery 51, hence Downtown Sound. We want to be able to bring students downtown and show them how great North Adams is.
Unfortunately, the event had to take place in Sullivan Lounge due to weather, but that did not stop the event from happening. Monahan explains the excitement WJJW has for helping local artists.
Just being able to work with local artists from North Adams, from the Berkshire area, as well as students. We have 2 students performing today, is just awesome, to be able to have them showcase their talent and also play on air. We have this thing called the Marty that is being used to broadcast live on 91.1 and online. It's a way for people to listen to it more, especially on a day like today when there's so much going on. So.
Downtown Sound showcased the artists like the Rosie Porter Band, and Izzy Heltai. Artist Izzy Heltai himself explained why he enjoys playing at local events.
Well, WJJW specifically always puts on really cool events, and they're really into supporting the local musician scene in this area, I guess, as well as the college.
Heltai is hitting the road with his music at the end of this month in hopes to spread his unique sound around the area, only then to return back to North Adams.
Starting April 14th, I'm doing a local tour, which is basically me just going around. I'm going out with my 2 friends that are in a folk duo from Boston, and we're just going to do a small tour tour like around Massachusetts, then Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, and then we're coming back to North Adams April 22nd, and we're playing downtown at the Design Lab. That's Izzy Heltai, Hawthorne Duo, and Luke Tobin will be opening for us, who's another great local musician.
Ty explained ways fans can stay in touch with his music and upcoming tour.
So I've got a Bandcamp if you want to check out my music. I've got a website, izzyheltai.com, and I've got a Facebook page and an Instagram if you want to keep updated like day to day of what I'm doing and like my tour.
Heltai shows us the benefits of playing in the Berkshires.
The scene in the Berkshires is a lot less competitive than a lot of cities, so it's a lot more fun to play at a local level in a lot of ways because people are a lot nicer and more tight-knit, and you just build like closer relationships and stuff, so I love being in this area.
Rosie Porter from the Rosie Porter Band explained how she got involved with the Downtown Sound.
We did it last year, and it was in this gallery. I'm not sure what it was called. Emma Monahan is an old friend of Tom LeBeau's, and she sent us an email, and we were very happy to do it.
Porter gives the importance of performing in new and different places.
Well, it's really important to have people from different areas come and perform because it gives you this outside perspective. You can make new friends, and the North Adams community has been so welcoming to us. Every time we play here, I'm really excited because everyone is super nice, and the musicians around here are really good, and I'm really glad that we are able to get to know them and start to do shows out here because it's a really great place.
The event was great. Hopefully, weather permitting, next year the event will be held outside as it was originally planned to. For Beacon Web News, I'm Maggie Allen.
Thanks, Maggie. Dear World is live from MCLA's campus today for a photo shoot from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Campus Center Marketplace. And a storytelling and photo reveal will be tonight from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. in the Campus Center gym. And Aramark is selling $1 grilled cheeses in Bowman Hall today from noon to 1:30 p.m. and you definitely don't want to miss out on that. The Honorable Jane Swift will speak at the Public Policy Lecture at 7 p.m. tonight in Church Street Center. Swift is a former governor of Massachusetts and a Massachusetts State Senator. Throughout her career, she has shown a sustained commitment to excellence in education. As a three-term state senator, she assisted in crafting the landmark Massachusetts Education Reform Act of 1993, which introduced accountability, high standards, and innovation into Massachusetts public schools. Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live will perform as MCLA's Spring Comedian on Monday, April 17th at 8 p.m. in Church Street Center. There's still 2 days left to buy tickets in the marketplace, and tickets are $5 for students and $7 for guests. Soldier On, a film about life after deployment for 3 women who confront the challenges of readjusting to civilian life after their post-9/11 deployments, is being screened at Williams College on Tuesday, April 18th at 7 p.m. Now that screening will be followed by a panel discussion with the filmmaker and veterans on campus. We are now just 1 week away from the inauguration of President Burge on Friday, April 21st at 2 p.m. in the Church Street Center. And that will do it for news this week. You can stay updated with developing news on MCLA's campus by visiting theonlinebeacon.com and by following MCLA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.